What if I told you that a local authority were forcing residents in social and affordable housing to spend over 70% more to heat their homes than the off-gen price cap? And what if I told you that the company they were forcing them to use was owned by that very same local authority? Well, that's exactly what I'm saying, and it's happening right here in Barking and Dagenham. And this is the council-ran energy scam. So I'm filming this video here today in my own flat, which is actually very cold because the district heat network is once again down in our estate. So that's over 400 homes currently without heating and hot water. But this video isn't about how unreliable the heat network is. It's about how expensive it is and how much money that Barking and Dagenham Council generates from running this network. Several years ago, Barking and Dagenham Council set up B&D Energy, a wholly owned subsidiary of the council tasked with providing residents in social and affordable housing access to low carbon, affordable energy to heat their homes. But what residents have since realised is, despite the network being really unreliable, it's also very expensive. And let's break that down in terms of what that means for their bills. From January of this year, the off-gen price cap has been set at 6p for a unit of heating and 30p for the daily standing charge. But the price of the district heat network supplying energy for B&D Energy is 9p per unit, with a standing charge of around £1.02 per day. This means that the average usage for a family in this estate will cost £500 more per year than the off-gen price cap, which should be the maximum that they are charged. And at this point, I'm sure everybody's thinking the same thing. Why don't these customers just move somewhere else if it's so expensive and so unreliable? And the answer is that they can't. The leases and rental agreements that they have entered into with Barking and Dagenham Council forbid them from changing their energy supplier for their heat, and it forbids them from having their own personal boiler in their homes. And what this means is the council have effectively created a monopoly, allowing them to force customers to use them without giving them any of the protections they would normally get from Ofgem, the regulator, in the form of the price cap. And that's what leads them to be able to rip customers off in this way. And I would then ask that we look at who are these people that the council are ripping off? And the answer is, this will be teachers, nurses, builders, emergency workers who have gone into affordable and social housing provided by Barking and Dagenham Council, either as an affordable rental option or an affordable first step on the property ladder, and they've been impacted and taken advantage of by ultimately a predatory council seeking to make a quick buck on energy bills. And with that, we'll look at the finances of B&D Energy. In the last financial year, B&D Energy paid £1.2 million to produce the energy that it supplied to its customers. Those customers, however, paid more than twice that amount, £2.7 million, to be supplied with the energy and heating they used in their homes. And this means that the markup on the energy supplied was over 100% by B&D Energy, which leads me on to the next part of this. Where did that extra money go? Well, 10p in the pound of every bill was spent on legal costs incurred by B&D Energy, which is a significantly high percentage to have to pay in legal fees for a small council-run energy firm. In addition to this, there was an £150,000 charge levied for consultancy work, which equates to 5p in the pound. But the largest cost, other than the energy supplied itself, was the £750,000 of administrative expenses that were unexplained in the financial accounts of B&D Energy. And if we assume the same cost apportioning methods that are used with other council-owned companies such as BFirst and BD Reside, one can safely assume that these costs are actually costs apportioned to B&D Energy for the privilege of having the operating address of the business being ran from Barking and Dagenham Town Hall. In other words, they're not real expenses. When you total the cost of those legal fees, the admin and the consultancy costs altogether, you reach a sum which is broadly similar to the amount that this company spends on energy, which, when you think about it, is extortionate. I'm going to come on to the second part of this, which is the reliability of the heat network, which I hadn't planned on talking about in this video until actually today, when I'm sat filming this. The heat network is once again down, meaning over 400 homes in the Gascoyne are without heating and hot water. And this isn't the first time this has happened this winter. It's actually the 5th time since the beginning of December that residents have been left without hot water and heating in their homes for a prolonged period of time, which is simply unacceptable. What would I ask the council to do about this? Plain and simply, they need to implement the off-gen price cap on B&D energy. We can't accept residents in social and affordable homes being expected to pay extortionate prices for their energy, while also having the protections that they normally get from the regulator taken away from them. These are people that deserve, if anything, more rights than others and deserve more protections from predatory behaviour. But the reality is that they're having all of their existing protections stripped away. So first and foremost, I would expect the council to implement the off-gen price cap to get people's bills back down to a level that is more acceptable. And secondly, I would ask that the Housing Minister and the Department for Energy looking to urgently bringing district heat networks under the coverage of the regulator. District heat networks are looking set to be widely rolled out across the UK as we move towards having low carbon energy. And it's vital that all of the future residents that are going to be receiving energy in that way have the same regulatory protections as those that are on regular main supply. If you've been impacted by district heat network issues, whether it's reliability or cost, please do get in touch with me and tell me your story. And for everybody else, thank you for watching this very first episode of Matt Talks Housing.